Om Bhadram Karnebhi Srinuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Makshabhi Yajatraha Sthirairangai Stushtuvagang Sastanubhi Vyashema Devahitan Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vridhasravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastirnastakshurarishtanemihi Swasti no Vrihaspatir Dadhatu Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. May we hear with our ears what is auspicious. May we see with our eyes what is auspicious. While praying with steady limbs, may we attain the lifespan allotted to us. May Indra bestow well-being on us. May Pushan, the god of the earth, who is all-knowing, bestow well-being on us. May Garuda, the destroyer of evil, bestow well-being on us. May Brihaspati also bestow well-being on us. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So today we will enter into the second part of Mundaka Upanishad. So there are 3 parts. Each part of the Mundaka Upanishad consists of 2 chapters. So today we will start the first chapter of the second part of Mundaka Upanishad. So just as a prelude, here we will find in the first 3 mantras as we study the description of the Paravidya starts. As we saw that in the very first chapter of the first part of Mundaka Upanishad, when the question was asked that what is that by knowing which everything is known, and to answer that, the Guru responded by saying, Guru Angirasa, and the disciple his name is Shaunaka. So Angirasa, he is responding that there are 2 types of knowledge. Instead of giving a direct answer, he is saying there are 2 types of knowledge. One is Apara and another is a Paravidya. And after that, he dealt with the Aparavidya. All the so-called knowledge in those days, available knowledge, starting from all these 6 philosophies, all the various Vedas, not the philosophy, all the 4 Vedas, the Vedangas, and the Vedas, which includes the Karma Kanda, all those was under the purview of Aparavidya. And that, as a summary, the second chapter of the first part of Mundaka Upanishad dealt with that. And after showing the limitation which ensues from pursuing the Aparavidya, now the second chapter starts with the enunciation of the Paravidya, the supreme knowledge. So that's the real truth. The knowledge of Brahma, Brahma Vidya, alone can lead us to emancipation. So that alone is the Satyam. So let us read the mantra, the first mantra of the first chapter of second part of Mundaka Upanishad, and we will go to the discussion gradually. Tat etat satyam yatha sudiptat pavakat visfulingaha sahasrasha prabhavante sarupaha tha aksharat vividha soumya bhava prajayante tatra cha eva apiyanti. So what it is speaking of? With the help of an allegory, a simile, they're trying to explain the Saguna Brahman. So we will find that the Brahman, the ultimate reality, finds expression as the Nirguna as well as the Saguna. The Nirguna Brahma is the ultimate, which is beyond all attributes. It finds expression as the cosmic mind, which do have attributes. So first, it is speaking of that Saguna Brahma, the Brahma with attributes. And what it is saying, the entire creation is as if like the sparks of which the Saguna Brahma is like the blazing fire. So that's the truth. What's the truth? This is the truth which you are searching for, the Paravidya. Let's start with the Saguna Brahman. And then from there, we will go to the Nirguna Brahman. We will go to the discussion gradually. So what it is saying, it is giving an example. As from a blazing fire, Pavaka, Sudiptat Pavaka. Sudipta means blazing, Pavaka means fire. As from a blazing fire, Visfulinga, the sparks which fly off. This flying off, the sparks are flying off. Sahasrasha, they are innumerable, in thousands. In thousands, Sahasra means thousand. In thousands, these sparks are flying off from that blazing fire. Prabhavante Sarupaha. This is, Sarupa is a very significant word. That though the blazing, these sparks are a very small portion of that blazing fire, but essentially, in essence, the nature of the blazing fire is identical with each and every spark. So they're essentially similar, they're essentially akin. That's the meaning of the word Sarupaha. Sahasrasha Prabhavante Sarupaha. Tatha Aksharat Vividha Somya Bhava Prajayante Tatra Chaeva Apiyanti. So similarly, so this, with the help of this simile, they're trying to explain that how from the Saguna Brahma, the entire creation has emanated. Somya. So, oh, the good-looking one. It's not just the physical beauty. The good-looking means the one who is of good nature, who is already Shanta, Danta, who has already controlled his senses, who has calmed down his mind and is in search of that eternal truth. So that good-natured one is the Somya. Though literally it means the beautiful, the good-looking one. But the real meaning is the inner beauty. So the inner beauty, which speaks of the calmness, the control over the senses, the search for the reality. So these are the nature, the good nature, which has been spoken of as Somya. So the one who is the good-natured one, know it for certain that the various beings, we are all the beings, each and every animate beings, they come forth from that imperishable Brahman. Just the way the sparks come out from that blazing fire, similarly, all the jiva, each and every living entity comes out from that akshara. Akshara means, kshara in Sanskrit means perishable. Is used in the sense of negation, that which is imperishable, which is everlasting, which was never born, which is never going to die. From that eternal existence, the various jivas come out. So in essence, they're the same. The Saguna Brahma is, the conscious principle is the same as the essence of each and every jiva. So tatha aksharat vividha somya bhava prajayante tatra eva cha apiyanti. They come forth from it and again they merge in it, they return in it. Apiyanti means to again return. So prajayante means to come out, to spring forth. Praja means to give birth. So it springs forth from that imperishable Brahman and again it merges into it, it returns into it. So this is the truth, the Satya, which you have been asking for. That's the one. So now here we will find that various commentaries have come out from the Upanishads. All the various darshanas, the philosophies like Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, all came out from the Upanishads. Here, this sloka, this mantra, gives an idea of Vishishtadvaita, as if that the ultimate reality is the whole of which everything is a part. That's a way of interpretation. But know it for certain. When I'm reading any text, if you just take out one of the, just a small portion of that text, leaving out the entire text, you just leave out just a section of it. Naturally, you can never get the whole meaning out of it. It is supposed to be biased. As Swami Vivekananda used to say very nicely, that all the commentators were conscious liars. We shouldn't use the word, I'm just using the word of Swamiji. They're all, these acharyas are highly respected. But why he's saying conscious liars? Because for them, the philosophy to which they adhered, the school to which they adhered, to establish that, they only took out a portion of the Upanishad which is suitable for their interpretation. If you read it as a whole, the meaning will come out very palpably. If with this first mantra, if we immediately try to connect the second, third, and so on, you'll find that the entire meaning is coming out. Otherwise, there's a chance of the gap in understanding. And that's how the various philosophies came out. They took out what suited their way of interpretation, only that much of text. And with that, they were interpreting. So that's why Swamiji is telling that to establish their school, they were all torturing the text. They did a lot of text torturing. And in the process, that they were the conscious liars. Knowingly they did it. So if we read the second mantra, the third mantra, all taken together, then you will find that it is not a particular philosophy. All the philosophies are correct, all the darshanas are correct from particular perspective, but it doesn't take the picture as a whole. Here it is speaking of Saguna Brahman, not the ultimate reality. The moment we read to the second mantra, we will find the idea that it is speaking of the Saguna Brahman. What is Saguna Brahman? Now the question is, that as per the Advaitic school, that there is only that non-dual reality, the conscious principle which is non-dual, which alone is ekam eva advitiyam. Because of ignorance, when that non-dual entity is projected as the Saguna Brahman. Saguna Brahman is the cosmic mind. Then the question of parts come. Here the example they have given is the blazing fire from which the sparks are coming out. In the olden days, that's the example they have resorted to. Now, in the modern days, there are some other examples which will clarify the idea in a much better way. What's that's the idea that how, as a cosmic mind, we individuals are a part of that cosmic mind. So from the Jiva point of view, because Jiva is the thing which transmigrates. That what is transmigrates? It is mainly the mind. We with our sanskaras, the mind with the sanskaras is transmigrating and it is getting various bodies. So it is basically the antakaran, the mind, which is a part of the cosmic mind. To understand that this examples never give the real idea. It somehow, with examples which are called upama, a part of the thing which is similar to the thing which is being exemplified, we are taking only that portion. After all, the blazing fire is not the Brahman. So it is just an example. Let us take another example. See, now when I'm sitting here in this room, I know the atmosphere is full of electromagnetic radiations. So innumerable TV channels are there, innumerable. Show this, the Zoom classes are going on. All the things which are transmitted is in the form of electromagnetic radiation. It is everywhere. When you are now who are attending the class online, it's not only the class which we are having, the electromagnetic radiation corresponding to that is in your room, sitting there. It's actually all the radiations are there. So cosmic mind, you can say, is the collection of all the mental impressions, just like all the electromagnetic radiations are there in your room at present as the collective. Then what becomes individual? Now you, as per your choice, you have decided that you will be attending this class today. So as per your choice, you have just entered a particular ID, a password, and that helped you to tune your computer or the laptop or whatever device with which you are attending the class, to tune that with a very particular wavelength of that electromagnetic waves. And that resembles the class which has been transmitted. So now you will understand the whole and the part. The whole is something non-local, which has all the information. The jiva is as per the samskara, as per my samskara, as per my temperament. When we are taking birth in a particular situation, we are downloading just the way at present you are downloading in your laptop the present class. Though there is a chance to immediately switch to any other channels of the TV or to some other class. So many things is possible. But you have decided that you will attend this class. So that particular frequency is being chosen by the ID and by the password which you have typed in your computer, and immediately you are just resorting to only this class. So similarly, our mind is just a part of the cosmic mind. Only those things to which I am attuned as per my samskaras, as my temperament, that constitutes my mind. So as the mind is concerned, there is something called the collective mind, where all the informations are there, of which we form a part. So now you will understand that when we are taking the Saguna Brahman, which is the cosmic mind, then there is a question of whole and part. With a present example, we will find that it becomes easy to understand. In the olden days, there was no question of relating to electromagnetic radiation. Those things were not discovered. So they were resorting to some other examples. But we find that those examples sometimes doesn't give a very clear picture, because the mind is non-local, and here that examples which they are taking is something which has to do with locality. A blazing fire is, after all, in this particular place, the fire is blazing, from which the sparks are coming out. They are also within a particular space. But the cosmic mind is something non-local. So that's why this example sometimes fails to give the clear picture of what has been spoken of here. So yatha sudiptat pavakat bisfulinga. Some other examples in the commentary they have given, that Brahman, what you say, that this the multiplicity of the various beings is due to the multiplicity of the upadhis. That I, as per my mind, as per my nature, as per certain upadhis, am limiting the Saguna Brahman in a particular way. So what's the example Shankaracharya is resorting to in this commentary? That Akasha is one. So his example, to a certain extent, speaks of that locality. There's one akasha, there's one sky. Now, that when I keep some utensils, when I'm having some utensils I have just kept in my kitchen table, the same akasha is pervading outside as well as inside that all those utensils. It may be some pot, it may be a jar. So it is the same akasha which is inside the pot and which is inside the jar. When the pot is not there, the jar is not there, it is the same akasha, one undivided akasha, undivided, this space is there. The moment we keep some two vessels, the outer, this covering, the outer outline of the vessel, as if limits the akasha, limits the space. And now I say the space within the pot, the space within the jar. Ghatakasha, patakasha. So still you will find that actually we are just to resort to the examples which Shankaracharya has given, we are stating that. But don't you feel that the example of the electromagnetic radiation gives a more clear picture? So that's the idea. There are so many other examples are resorted to that the same non-dual Brahman, because of ignorance when it appears as the mind, and then the question of whole and part comes. Another example is like that, which somehow resembles Sri Ramakrishna's example, that just take the infinite expanse of water. That's the Brahman. And now because of that, the winter, the fall of temperature, because it's cold, a sheet of ice is formed over the water. And that sheet of ice has innumerable holes. And those holes are of various shapes and various sizes. So the lake as such is Brahman, the expanse of lake. The sheet of ice is the ignorance which is covering the Brahman. Innumerable holes are the innumerable jivas. And the various attributes that differentiate one being from the other speaks of the various shapes and sizes. So with these various examples, we are trying to relate to the idea which has been spoken of, that the ultimate reality, because of ignorance, we don't know how it has happened. The ignorance means what? We don't know that that ultimate reality, which is non-dual, is finding expression as the cosmic mind, which is the collection of all the informations pertaining to this phenomenal existence. What I see outside as an information is in the mind. Everything, whatever I see. And the collection of the information is the cosmic mind, and our mind is just a part of it, just the way we were giving the example that when you are tuning to a channel, particular channel of a TV, all the channels are present in your room as electromagnetic radiation. You are getting tuned up to a particular channel. That's why you are just a part of the whole. So this is the idea with which we will gradually try to proceed to the next mantras. That this is speaking of the Saguna Brahman, and it is not the Nirguna Brahman. Beyond that, the non-dual conscious principle is there, which can never be transformed. It somehow, because of ignorance, is appearing as the Saguna Brahman, as the cosmic mind. So in Vedanta, always we should understand that there is no vikara, real transformation. Just the way the milk becomes curd, it is a transformation. There is no such vikara or parinama. It is not really transforming. It is rather vivarta. These terms are very important. It is not vikara, but vivarta. What does vivarta means? It is superimposition. Something appearing as something else. Just the way we say that when in the dark, in the twilight hours, a rope is lying and you mistaken it to be a snake. The snake was never there. When I am deluded, still it is the rope. Previously it was the rope. It is when I'm deluded, still it is the rope. When my delusion will vanish, still it will be the rope. But for the time being, I'm seeing it as the snake. So similarly, because of ajnana, because of ignorance, the real transformation has not happened. It's the same non-dual conscious principle, which the first transformation is, the first superimposition adhyasa is in the form of the cosmic mind. And from that cosmic mind, all the various jivas with various attributes, upadhis, have manifested, as has been spoken of in the Chandogya Upanishad. What it says, yatha saumye kena. It is in the 6th chapter of Chandogya Upanishad. It starts with that, the 6th chapter, in the very 4th mantra, 1st chapter, 4th mantra. That what yatha, 6th part of the Chandogya Upanishad, yatha saumya ekena mritpindena sarvang mrinmayang vigyatam syat. Vacharambhanam vikara namadheyam mrittika iti eva satyam. The same again, this example, that with mrinmaya, with clay, I have made lot of clay utensils. Some pot, jar, tumbler, so many utensils we have prepared. But in essence, they are all clay. So, hey, O Saumya, O the good-natured one, ekena mritpindena, that from the same clay, a lump of clay, that ekena, from that one lump of clay, sarvang mrinmayam vigyatam, all the utensils which are made of clay, in essence they are mrinmaya, they are made of clay. Anything in Sanskrit, the word maya means the thing which permeates. When I say someone is karunamaya, he is full of karuna, compassion. Similarly, mrinmaya means the thing which is full of clay only. It may be the jar, it may be the pot, it may be the tumbler, but it is the same clay. So that's what's meant by mrinmaya. So all the utensils made of clay is after all mrinmaya. In essence, it is clay and clay alone. Once you know that the nature of clay, you know the nature of all the utensils. If you know clay, you know what all those utensils are in essence. So similar this idea has been spoken of here. So this part is in essence the same as the whole. So it is this, all the jivas in essence speaks of the ultimate reality with which is behind the cosmic mind as well as behind the individual minds. The same cosmic mind. Behind it, that conscious principle is there. And behind that again, the same conscious principle is also behind each and every individual soul. Again, with the help of modern example, let us try to understand what it is saying. Now, for transmitting something, when I'm sitting here for taking this class, what is required? It is plugged onto the electricity. The bias voltage is electricity. And then through this laptop and all, at last the electromagnetic waves are transmitted. So for the transmission, what is the thing which is required? The electric current. And now there are so many transmissions. Of that, a particular transmission you are receiving. For that, again, the device is again plugged on. It is connected to some electrical source. So as the electricity, as the bias voltage, from here it is transmitted. So for the thing which is transmitting, behind that, the thing which is enabling it to transmit, without its association, it cannot transmit, is electricity. And the particular transmission which you are receiving, of all the transmissions, for that also again, to receive that basic thing is electricity. So like now we will understand that Brahman is the substratum of both the cosmic mind as well as all the individual minds, which these individual minds of the jivas. The cosmic mind is of Brahma or the Hiranyagarbha or Ishvara. So this cosmic mind, behind that also the Brahman is there. And with the individual mind also, that same Brahman is there. The Brahman, that Nirguna Brahman, which is beyond the cosmic mind, beyond the Hiranyagarbha. Because this Hiranyagarbha means the seed from which the entire creation came out, because it is the storehouse of all the information, the collective mind, from where everything came out. So the Brahman is behind that, and the Brahman is behind each and every jiva. So as in essence, I am one with the Saguna Brahman, in essence. Though Saguna Brahma is the Ishwar, his Mayadhish, is the ruler of Maya, and I am Mayadhin. I am within the domain of Maya. He is the Lord. I am just the ordinary mortal being. But in essence, we are the same. When we say Tattvamasi, that's the meaning. That the essence of Ishvara and the essence within me, both are same. So what's that essence? That Nirguna Brahman, which is behind the Sarguna Brahman, that will be, which is beyond all attributes. Just the electricity. As electricity has no attributes. The moment it is transmitted, it has so many attributes. There are so many things which has been transmitted. Each has particular, storehouse of information. So many channels are there. They all are having their own thing, the thing which has been transmitted, that's what constitutes all those various radiations. That constitutes the various channels. So there is differentiation. They do have attributes. One can be differentiated from the other. But as electricity, can you differentiate it? The same bias voltage with which your laptop is activated, the same bias voltage with which my laptop is also activated, the transmission as well as the receiver, both are being activated by the same bias voltage. Is there any type of difference between the bias voltage with which your computer is, or your electronic device is connected, is different from that mine? There is no differentiation. I cannot in any way differentiate this current with that current. But I can differentiate the thing which I am transmitting. I can differentiate the thing which you are receiving. So there are attributes in the cosmic mind. Cosmic mind is like the transmitter of all transmissions, and individual minds are the receivers of particular transmissions. There are so many TV channels. I am just seeing only one channel. So all the channels are at present there as electromagnetic waves in the atmosphere, but they have some demarcation. One can be demarcated from the other. So these constitutes the various attributes which is demarcating. The attributes means the characteristics which is demarcating one from the other. So that all these attributes are in the cosmic mind. All the attributes are in the jiva. Jivas have specific attributes which makes me different from you, but the collection of all the attributes is the cosmic mind. Beyond attributes is the Nirguna Brahman, just the electricity. It has, as electricity, the same electricity, when it is transmitted as light, as sound, as a particular scene. When you are watching the TV, you are seeing some picture, and you are hearing some sound. It's the same electricity which has got converted into that light and sound. That's you're receiving. So as light and sound, it is differentiated, but as electricity, it is the same. So now you will understand. These examples will help you to understand what it is spoken of as Nirguna Brahman, beyond. Because of ignorance, the cosmic mind is the first evolute that comes out from the Nirguna Brahman. But that Nirguna Brahman is beyond all attributes. So that will be explained in the next mantra. So the moment you read the next mantra, then you will find that the first mantra was just speaking of the Saguna, the cosmic mind. If I say this is the ultimate reality, then of course, the absolute reality is whole of which we become a part. From there, the Vishishtadvaita can be explained. But you take this together, the second mantra, then again that you will find the inkling of the Advaita is also here. So let's read the mantra, what it is speaking of. So now that the bias voltage, which activates the transmitter as well as the receiver, the cosmic mind as well as the individual jivas. So what is that? That is something which is beyond all attributes, but that alone is the self-luminous. The current actually, without current, nothing is possible. We are taking the example as current is not Brahman. We are taking this example to understand, to compare it with what we are saying. That as in your computer, in my computer, what has made it luminous? It is the bias voltage, the current. So that is the source. So that alone is self-luminous. So that's being indicated here in the second mantra. It speaks of that Nirguna Brahma. Divya hi amurta purusha. Let us read the mantra and then we will go to the explanation. Sa bhyantarah hi ajah. Apranah hi amana shubra hi aksharat paratah parah. So I'm just breaking the words so that it becomes easy to understand. Divya hi, the actual stroke is Divya hyamurta purusha. Means he and amurta is sandhi. So we have to break so that it becomes easily understood. Divya hi amurta purusha sa bhahyabhyantara hi ajah. Hyajah, instead of saying hyajah, hi ajah. Aprana hi amana shubra hyaksharat. We are breaking it into he aksharat. So he means indeed. So this word he is used. That divya he amurta purusha. Indeed, he is that self-luminous, nirguna Brahman, is amurta, beyond form. Again, go to that example. Electricity has no form, but the moment it is transmitted, in the transmission, of course, there is some scene which is transmitted. It has a form, it has a sound. But as electricity, it is amurta, it is no form. So the one who is the ultimate reality, the self-luminous one who is beyond the Saguna Brahma, is formless, is amurta. And he is Purusha. Why is Purusha? Purusha means Puri Shayanat iti Purusha. That when I am transmitting, the same amurta is again appearing as the amurta in your computer, because the same bias voltage is there. So he is within your computer, your electronic device system also. Puri Shayanat. So what it means, the same non-dual reality which is behind the Saguna Brahman is as if is hidden in the core of our being also. So that's why his Purusha, Puri Shayana, in each and every being, that same non-dual reality, he as the essence is residing there. The all-pervading Brahmanhood dwells in all the bodies as consciousness. So that's the Purusha. Sa bhyantarah I ajah. It's permeating the entire existence. It is within us, it is without us, everywhere. So when just in this, the laptop through which it is transmitting, first electricity is going inside, it is within, and then it is being transmitted as the electromagnetic radiation. The same electricity is being converted into the electromagnetic radiation. It is within, it is without. And again, for your computer, there it is without, which is being received by you and through that electricity, and again it is within. So it is within and without. It is permeating the entire existence. So that's the meaning of sa bhahyantara. It is within and without. The thing which is the core of our being is projected as the universe. Sa bhahyantara hi ajaha. That is birthless. The bias voltage is always there. The sceneries which is being transmitted is being created. Something is being recorded and it is created. That are when we are taking the class, all the things which we are speaking, was not there previously. The moment I speak, it is being created. But the transmission which is carrying these words, because of that electricity, it was always there. It's only the same electricity is taking a different form as electromagnetic radiation, which is again decoded by your computer as the word and the picture. You are seeing me and you're hearing my words. So what we are doing through the computer is a very poor imitation of nature. So here it is only light and sound. But within us, the conscious principle, when finds expression as this universe, it is being projected not only as light and sound. It is the pancha, the 5 types of perceptions, 5 types of sensual perceptions. So the eyes we see, through the ears we hear, the smell, nose we smell, with the tongue we taste and touch. So these 5 things are transmitted, the 5 things are received. So this is constantly going on. But the one because of whom it is happening, he is ajaha, he is always there. The other things are being born, and there is transformation. Anything which is born has to undergo the transformation, has to go through the process of transformation. The thing which is unborn alone is in the eternal present. Anything is born has to go through the Shara Vikara. Jayate, Asti, Vardhate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, Nasti. These 6 changes are bound to be there. Anything which is born at last has to die, and it has to go through all these 6 transformations. But the thing which is aja is eternally there. It has no transformation. For the time being, let us take that electricity. As electricity, it has no transformation as the bias voltage. It is just the same as your bias voltage you are in your laptop. There is no change in it. Aprana hi amana shubra. So when it is being transmitted, it gets converted into that energy. That energy being is received. What is being encoded as information while transmitting is being decoded by you, the one who is receiving. So in the process, it speaks of the transmission of energy. But the one who is behind that, the substratum of all this thing, is behind all the vital force, aprana, amana. Just here, the computer, we don't find the expression of the vital force. To understand this, the vital force, let us take another example. So now, there are so many rovers going around in the Mars. In the Mars, now when they're going around, from how they're going around there, it is from here from Earth through the remote control. We are actually guiding their motion there, even in Mars. How it is happening? Again, only through mind. So modern science really helps us to understand these mantras in a much better way. That's why Swamiji again and again told that the discovery of science is welcome, because it will help us to understand Vedanta in a better way. All the wrong understandings will be washed off, and the real essence will shine forth. Just see how easy it becomes with the help of these modern findings. It is not the same, but these examples are much better than the examples which were given in the olden days. These examples helps us to understand more clearly that how prana, something energy, behind that there can be some information. Just see, for sitting here with the remote, the rovers are moving in the Mars, and that speaks of energy, something that movement, any movement speaks of energy. How it is happening? It is happening with information, just by this electromagnetic transmission. But the one which is behind the transmission, that again, that bias voltage, it is not showing any signs of vitality. So it is a prana. And as long as it is the bias voltage, it is yet to take the form of all those electromagnetic transmission, which is carrying the information. So it is amana, there is no mind in it. Shubhra, it is in its purest form. without any deformation, without any transformation. Shubhra. Shubhra means white. Shubhra means pure, where no deformation has happened. So that aksharat, now this word is very important. Parata para. If you miss this, then again that the various philosophies has came out that way. You have not taken the entire picture. Parata para. Greater than the great, the para, the supreme truth which has been spoken of in the previous mantra. What is being spoken of here is greater than that. Parata para. It is the supreme, higher than the supreme imperishable. In the last mantra, it was speaking of that Saguna Brahman, the cosmic mind, which constitutes the cosmic mind. It is beyond that. Parata para. Aksharat parata para. So that is also Akshara. Cosmic mind is also Akshara. And this is also Akshara. There is no, there is imperishable, it is not perishable. It is Akshara. But this Akshara is supreme to the previous Akshara which has been spoken of. It is beyond that cosmic mind. It is because of ignorance that non-dual entity is finding expression as the cosmic mind, where all the attributes comes into picture. Before that, there is no attribute. It is through ignorance people associate Atman with the different bodies and believe that it too possesses the prana, mind, senses. That we think that when I say I am, what we do the mistake, I think this psychophysical existence constitutes my amness. Is it really so? Even with a common example, we will find that it is actually never so. Even in our common language, what we say, my hand, my feet, that I am something different. That's the way your laptop, my bag, it is not me. It is something I possess. So when I say my heart, my brain, my body, my hand, my feet, so it's not me. They are not me. There's things which I possess. Even in our language, we say that. But somehow, though we are speaking the correct thing, but in our day-to-day realization is we get totally identified with it. To give another example, because of some reasons, because of some accident or some reason, if someone's leg is amputated, does he say that I am 80% of me? Though he has left, most probably has lost his hand or feet, whatever it may be, he's still the same I who was before that accident. Just losing a part in no way gives him the sense that he has really lost a certain percentage of his existence. He's still the entire whole. So the real core of our being is something which can never be divisible. That's the Akshara. That is supreme. That is beyond the supreme Saguna Brahman, which has been spoken of in the previous mantra. So, Divyahi Amurta Purushaha Sa Bhahyantarahi Ajaha Apranahi Amana Shubhra Aksharat Parata Para. So, with this, the next will be this Nirguna Brahman has been spoken of is without attributes. But in association with Maya, because of ignorance, this Brahman appears as the Saguna Brahman, which is the cause of the creation. So whenever the Upanishad speaks of Brahman as the cause of creation, know it for certain that it is referring to the Saguna Brahman, to the cosmic mind, as again will be indicated in the third mantra, the next mantra. What it is speaking? The third mantra of the first chapter of second part of Mundaka Upanisad. This speaks how, because of ignorance, first the cosmic mind comes as an evolute, and from that, the entire phenomenal existence, which is nothing but which actually speaks of the 5 ways we perceive this universe. Through our sight, through our sound, through taste, the smell, and through touch. Beyond this, our universe has nothing. The entire universe constitutes these five senses. So how this universe gradually, the universe constituting of these five sensual perceptions emanates from that Saguna Brahman is been spoken of. The sequence of the evolutes has been spoken of in the third mantra. So this Mundaka Upanishad is important that way. It gives the structure of Vedanta. That in Vedanta we speak that because of ignorance, the absolute reality is finding expression as the mind, as the prana, as the five sense organs, as the five sense perceptions, the Panchabhuta. This idea, this sequence, from where we get? From this Upanishad, from the Mundaka Upanishad. The third mantra speaks of that sequence. The sequence of superimposed reality is being indicated in this mantra. So what is this mantra? Etasmat jayate prana mana sarvendriyani cha khang vayu jyoti apa prithvi vishwasya dharini. Etasmat. From that Saguna Brahman. The Nirguna Brahman is beyond any such evolution. It is always as it is because of ignorance. Once it appears as the cosmic mind, then what happens? From that evolves prana, the vital forces, the vital energy, mana, the mind, sarvendriyani, all the sense organs, and then khang, vayu, jyoti. Khang means the akasha, they say. Akasha, the space, vayu, air, jyoti means the fire, the light, apa, water, prithvi, the earth, which supports everything. Vishwasya dharini. All these five perceptions, the five elements of these five sensual perceptions constitutes our existence. So that's why it is called the Vishwasya dharini. They which supports all, which is the support of the entire phenomenal world. So this has evolved from there. Etasmat jayate. So this is the mantra which needs some elucidation to really understand what it is speaking. It is something speaking very wonderful. That it. So we sometimes just memorize the sequence which has been spoken of in Vedanta. That because of the sequence is like that. That Brahman, the absolute Nirguna Brahman, the reality, the Brahman, which is Nirguna, in association with Maya, appears as the Hiranyagarbha or Brahma, which constitutes, which is actually the cosmic mind. From where comes the five Sukshma Bhuta, the primal matter. From the primal matter is Trigunatmak. It has three gunas, Sattva, Raja, Tama. From the Sattva aspect, from the Shuddha aspect, the pure Sattva of it, comes the five Jnanendriyas. The eyes, the ears, the taste, the smell, and the touch. For this, the five Indriyas are there. The eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, and the skin. So these are pure Shuddha Sattva. We will try to understand that these are the sequence which the scripture speaks of, and we memorize, we say, but what actually it means, we will gradually try to understand. So the Vishuddha Sattva is the Pancha Jnanendriya. Mana is Misrita, in which though it is predominantly Sattva, but it is mixed with Rajas and Tamas. So from the five Sukshma Bhuta, from its Sattvic part comes the five Jnanendriyas, and from the mixture of Sattva, Rajas, Tamas comes the Mana, though it is predominantly Sattva. From the Rajas part, from the pure Rajas comes the organs of action. This hand, the feet, the organ of excretion, the organ of procreation, and speech. So these are the five. They are pure Rajas. And the prana is the vital energy is the Misrita. Though it is predominantly Rajas, but it do has element of Sattva and Tamas. And from the Tamas, from this Pancha Bhuta, Stula Bhuta, through the process of Panchikarana, has came. So this is what the Vedanta script of the sequence of evolution, which is indicated in this mantra, the third mantra, that when it says Khang Vayu Jyoti Rapa Prithvi Vishwaswadharini, it is actually speaking of this sequence. That how from the Nirguna Brahman, because of its association with Maya, the Saguna Brahman, the Hiranyagarbha, is the first evolute from which the entire world of sensual perceptions comes forth, has been indicated in this mantra. And from that mantra, we just now try to understand the sequence in which Vedanta has formulated that how the other various evolutes comes out to make this world palpably visible in front of us. So this needs a bit understanding. It's a bit technical, but you will find it's very interesting. So we will, today, it won't have, the time won't permit, we will take from this portion that we understood for today's class as a synopsis, the first mantra of the first chapter of the second part of Mundaka Upanisad speaks of the Saguna Brahman, where it is something the whole of which all the jivas are the part, and they all have attributes. And the one who is beyond the Saguna Brahman as well as beyond the jivas, the absolute reality, the non-dual Brahman, he is beyond attributes. So how that one which is beyond attributes, the Nirguna Brahman, finds expression as Saguna Brahman, and then the further evolute as the jiva and the world. How it happens, that sequence has been spoken of in the third mantra, which again we will take up in the next class to clarify that what this sequence of evolution really means. We will take, and you will find it's really very interesting when we try to relate to this modern way of understanding. So with this, we stop our discussion today. We will again take up this discussion again in the next class. Thank you all, and namaskars.